Highway, Maximilian, Virginia, 24360. Any phone number?
That's fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay, my name, like I say, my name's Roy Smith, and I live down on that, Green Forge area, Love Hill area. And I've been listening to this fire and rescue thing going on, for months now, like y'all have. And, I don't have no problem with fire or rescue, because I've had to use both of them. And I don't know, but my problem is, it's just like sitting in this meeting here. There was questions asked, how many members do you have? I've got an AAU basketball team, I know it's 14. Somebody asks you how many fire members, you ought to know, you ought not say 20 or 23, you ought to say, I've got 22. Mr. Chairman asked a question about, what's the problems that we can help you with? Are we jumping you through hoops? How many of y'all board members heard one question, one problem that you're having? They were none an issue. That's my main problem. The funding. We probably don't fund them enough. But my problem with the funding is, do we know how much they take in, like when they have bake sales or raffles or tractor pulls or anything? Y'all know how much that is?
They have all of it.
A general idea, okay. Okay. The membership problem, I've addressed this, and I have a problem with them not knowing how many they have. And just little things like that. And then, I'm all for a fire chief or Doug King taking it over, Slell taking it over, Kenny Hurst, anybody. But until you get one individual that can talk to each one of their chiefs or their people, there's always going to be a problem. I mean, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I've talked to a lot of citizens down their way, and they feel the same way. What gets lost on this sometimes to me is that you had the rescue and fire, and you got board. Well, we forgot about the third party, us, that elected y'all. And when y'all make these decisions, I hope you do get the input from the community before you do it. And I think you're going to find out that people out there is tired of listening to this fussing between, I live down there and I hear one fire department fussing about the other fire department. They might not agree to it, and I can understand why they don't want to leave. That kind of, they're saying, we're going to pay $100,000 for this position, which I hope when y'all vote on hiring this fella, you don't do like some of the last past board members done. But I hope it's brought out in the public. And Kim, you asked a real good question to them, and they could never give you answers about are you members qualified and stuff. They just couldn't pinpoint exactly are. And then another problem I had is when you brought up about felons. Well, there shouldn't be no felons on there, but if they get their civil rights renewed and can vote, I can't say no reason they can't be on them. Or, that's the basic law of the country. If you're a convicted felon, you go through the steps, and the sheriff and everybody signs off on it, and the probation officer, you get your civil rights restored. That should make you a citizen again. But I was a little offended the way you said that. It's just like you didn't put that divulge in there where it says if you get all your stuff together, you're all right. That's the only problem I had on that. But like I say, I'm here for a fire chief or somebody that can be over this whole organization, so that we'll keep it. Thank you.
Next we have Ms. Linda Myers. She has no subject listed. Ms. Myers, come forward, please.
Yes, I was just told that I've been relegated with my little tiny, very noisy, very intrusive camera to the last row, when there are 30 seats here that are empty. And I can't imagine that you gentlemen think that your constituents are not concerned about what goes on here and enjoy seeing it. I've had hundreds of hits after I post these meetings on YouTube, and I and the rest of the public are very, very upset that I'm going to be marginalized to the back row. That's one issue.
Now, would you give your address for
1118 Dry Road, Speedwell, 24374.
What's up?
That was one subject. My second subject is I've been driving around the county for some time, and I've noticed the county water system. In some places it's justified, and it seems in others it is not. Case in point, which is Speedwell. The town proper has a little water system. The rest of us have our own wells. I'd like to tell you that all the people I have canvassed since Mr. Horney mentioned that how much the water is going to be, or county water is going to be welcomed in Speedwell at the joint meeting, it is not that way. People are adamant. In my area, down 21, we are an independent lot. We do not want water meters. We do not want bills. We certainly don't want you, the county, interfering in our personal water that we have now. This is a money and a control issue, and we want no part of it in the Speedwell area. There hasn't been a referendum to ask us if we want county water or we need county water. There may be places that's relevant and you need it, that's fine. We do not. The last couple of days, I have a petition here that says just say no to county water. I have over 50 people in the last couple of days in my area that are not interested in having county water, county meters, or your county services for water in the Speedwell area. I'd like to give that to whomever.
Thank you. Next we have David Blevins, who would like to also talk about water. Blevins, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't even have these, David, I couldn't have it.
Oh, that's all right.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, appreciate your
Hey, David,
time.
do you mind giving us your address?
Yeah, David Blessing, 500 Ball Tree Road, Westfield, Virginia, 24382.
Thank you, David.
And what I want to address to y'all is the water situation. And I talked with Tim earlier today, and talked with Stephen there back probably a couple of weeks ago, and talked with Jim. And my point is, no, don't get me wrong, I'm glad you put the water up to there. You know, I'm thankful for it. But what I'm not thankful for, and as Stephen told me, and I don't know where the information comes from, but yet Stephen had told me that the federal government had made it mandatory for everybody that lives within 350 feet of the right-of-way would be mandatory to hook up. And he said that has come from the Board of Supervisors in 1997, right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's what he said, the Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors adopted that in 1997. Well, I guess, Danny, you was you there?
I'm the only one.
Was you the only one there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then, this is a new project. And a whole new outfit's coming up through there, and these Board of Supervisors are sitting here. And a lot of them my friend, Gary's friend. But I'm gonna tell you, the way y'all doing these things, if you want water to come up number 11, and I don't care where you put the water out to the county. If the county wants the water, let the taxpayers pay for it, or whoever needs to pay for it. But you shouldn't make it mandatory for the people, penalize the people that are within 350 feet of that right of way. And you quoted in your first, Gary, here's a letter that I have, that y'all hung on the door in 2008. And I want to read you this letter. And let me ask you another question. Roy, when he come up from y'all put the water up, when you run it up the racetrack road, was that in the plans at that time? He said it wasn't, I don't know. Was that in the plans? He said that was an extension of it. Well, was running across Tip Adder Lane, South Fork, and up Old Stage Road, was that in the plans, Gary?
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
they did.
Let me read the letter. And this is what was hung on my door at the shop, and several people didn't get this letter. And this letter says, this letter is informing you that the county is having an informational meeting concerning the extension of the water service into your community. During the meeting, we will discuss the potential of the extending of the water line from Whitfield toward River Tree. We will provide information on user fees, connection fees, and answer any additional questions you may have. This meeting will be held at St. Paul Lutheran Church on St. Paul Church Road in Crockett, May the 8th, 2008, at 7 o'clock p.m. We look forward to seeing you there. Sincerely, Don Chris, Director. Now, when we got that letter, I figured anybody who was interested in the water should attend the meeting. There was never nothing said about anybody hooking up to it within 350 feet. There was no mandatory, minimum fee for us to pay. And then once y'all had the meeting, and we found out that there was a mandatory, charge, and a mandatory hookup within 350 feet, a neighbor had this letter that was handed out at that particular meeting, stating here that, $18 minimum monthly bill would cover the first 3,000 gallons, $7 per 1,000 gallons for each additional 1,000 gallons. And then it goes on down here to, it says about the 350 feet, a fee is required within 90 days of the fine. Well, why didn't y'all tell that to the people when you sent the letters out? And now you have went from $18 for 3,000 gallons to $11 for 1,000 gallons, and $9 after that. Well, then what is the bill going to be within next year, the next year, 10 years from now? And all I'm asking y'all is to take into consideration and grandfather these people up along number 11. Now, if the people want some water, I have got no problem with that, no problem whatsoever. But y'all need to get grandfather the people that has their existing wells and does not need this water. And anybody that's going to build in that section, then they'll know the new laws. That'll be up to them whether they want to build. But I ask you, please don't enforce this on the people that don't want it. And I talked to him, and I don't know whether he talked to Gene. And Gene said that Mr. Dalton said the federal government is the one that sets it. And now, wait a minute. Now,
I'm not gonna say that,
yeah,
right?
now Smith County.
I'm sorry, I was thinking to myself.
I've got friends in Smith County, and Mr. Cornetti talked to some of the people out in Smith County. They give them a choice in the matter to hook up or not to hook up. And we asked that, as citizens up along this number 11, for that to be for us, to give us a choice in it. And I hope you'll take that into consideration and see where your neighbors is and your hearts and your conscience is. Because, Gary, if you want it, I shouldn't have to pay for it. And you know that. You know, that'd be like me building a store up along number 11 and forcing everybody to go into that store. You know, give us a choice, Gary. And I know what it is, and I know what the mandatory hookup's for y'all to start paying your loan back. And it says right here in this letter that you sent out today, it says, why do we have to pay a connection fee and a minimum monthly bill? With County depends upon federal and state funding in the form of low-interest loans and grants to fund the water line extension projects. The federal and state agency requires With County to guarantee a high percentage of the people located the service area of new constructed water lines to connect to the system and pay a connection fee and at least a minimum monthly water bill. Now listen to the last one. The only way With County can make such a guarantee is to require a mandatory connection. Now what I understand With County is making you hook up. And you as the Board of Supervisors, y'all make that decision for the people. Am I right or am I wrong? Did y'all not vote on that? And make that, 97 gone, Steve. And y'all need to make that decision for the people. And a highly percentage of the people, I don't know how many people up on number 11 wants it. If they 75% of the people wants it, ain't that a highly number for that wants it? Then leave the 25% of the people alone. That's all I'm asking, and I hope that you'll take a look at this, and I've talked to Tim, and I've not talked to you yet, Gary.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I just feel like it should be pushing on the people now. And if y'all need to pay the loan back, you know, that's up to the county. They should have done more of a polling on that. But the people that wanted it, they should have it, and the people that don't want it shouldn't have it. And if y'all need money to pay it back, then that's up to the county. You should have thought about that before we put it in.
That's all the people that signed up. Does anyone else like to speak? Sir? Come on, Danny. Please state your name and address.
C.D. Card, 110 Sherwood Forest, Whitfield.
Yeah, I thought I recognized you guys.
Well,
It's been a long time. Yes, sir.
Yeah. We used to play together on North Street
Yep.
years ago. What I'm here for today is not about water, and it's about, I'm in the interest of the Westfall hunters out in Stony Fork area. That's Black Lick District, okay? And back in 1961, we bought 67 acres in the Black Lick District at auction. This boundary is beside the National Forest. It's on Stony Fork Road, and it's has scattered hardwood and boulders to the top of Rift Knob. Now, what I'm saying is that we have got a tax ticket on that for last year for $264,400. That's supposed to be the value. That's, the building was $117,000, and the land was $147,000 of value, which is twice overvalued. And I just wish that, I called the Blue Ridge appraisal that y'all have, and they said they would be here, I think, in January, but, they have not yet arrived. And I can't even talk to them because they're not here yet. They say they have some problems with their computers and so on and so forth. And, I would just like to bring this up, that, this land is overvalued, and I would like to appeal, to y'all that, I can replace the building out there for $48,000 to $54,000. And the land purchases, I can purchase land nearby for $950 to $1,050 an acre. So I appreciate that someone would look over this, and wish that someone would have interest in this property to arrive at fair value.
Stevie, those figures that you gave us, were those ones Blue Ridge shouldn't have given you any figures yet, have they?
That's the one on my tax ticket.
Last assessment?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 2011 and started in 2000. So, what I'm saying is, we don't have any more bow hunters out there now. That all the club members have dissolved, and I'm having to take over because I'm the sole person left on the deed. And I wish to bring this up to you and see what we can do about the, I think what happened, the appraisal was found on an aerial map rather than actual going there and see everything, what we had. But I'll be glad to go out there anytime with anybody.
Now meeting 32 Middle Hospital.
Mr. Dodd, you want to give us an update on where we are as far as the new appraisals?
The new reassessment isn't complete yet. We'll be meeting with Blue Ridge Master Collector Appraisals to get an update with the reassessment committee. I think it's next week, Tuesday, as a matter of fact. Reassessment notices haven't went out. But when they do go out, there'll be a telephone number on there, and you can come and appeal your assessment.
I understand that, that's what I've been calling about.
Yeah.
And they haven't arrived yet. They were supposed to come here in January, and they haven't come yet.
That's
We're
what they
well
told
aware of
us.
that.
But, hopefully those tickets will go out somewhere late February, early March, and then there will be dates telephone number to call to set that. And if that doesn't satisfy you, going to the Board of Assessors. Then the second one, there'll be a notice in the paper, the Board of Equalization.
Yes.
3 local people that will sit and hear complaints about what the value is and take into consideration. I guess I'd ask if last time you go to the Board of Assessors, Board of Equalization, or just accept it?
Right. Well, anyway, I think this is overvalued in my opinion, as well as some other places in that same area. Because Griffin Knob, if everybody knows where it is, it's right straight up. And then few boulders, we've only used 20 acres out of the whole 67, because it's too high up and too hard to get to. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to speak to this? Seeing none, I'll close this time. The next order on our agenda, folks, is the minutes of January the 24th, 2012. I will accept the motion.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All right, are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Gene?
Aye. 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 Aye.
And aye, 7-0. Next order of business is the invoices. Gentlemen, you've had time, I hope, to look over them. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pay the invoices.
Second?
Second.
We have a second. Motion and a second. Gentlemen, any particular thing you'd like to talk about before we vote? Seeing none, I'll start the roll call vote. Artie?
Aye. 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 Aye.
And aye. The invoices will be paid. Next, we have a resolution, I think you've had an opportunity to read, concerning school bus and rural housing development, a grant. And Mr. Dalton, the next thing is the amendment and appropriation. Should we have listed 2 different things, handle it as a resolution and then?
Resolution isn't matter, and then appropriation is a second, they have to be handled separate.
I guess I need a motion then to accept the resolution as presented. All right,
I'll second.
motion and a second to, for the resolution for the governing body to, school bus from the United States Department of Agriculture and Rural Housing.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure I understand this. The grant is going to be up to $10,950. Our responsibility is over $67,000.
It is, this is in addition to what we appropriated by the 6 buses, this allows the school board to move $10,000 and buy another vehicle or some other purpose.
But we have to pass a resolution before we do the amendment, correct?
So we've actually budgeted in the 78.3,
Yes.
so this will get 10 back.
So we'll vote on the resolution first. Gene?
Aye. 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 Aye.
And aye. Now, the amendment appropriation, the way it's understood here, that the total project cost will be $78,300, but $10,950 could be put forth by the grant, correct?
Yes.
And so this motion is to accept,
The amended appropriate the 10,950.
okay, so amend and appropriate the $10,950. Do I hear a motion?
Also move.
I'll second.
Have a motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Hall?
Aye. 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 Aye.
And aye, thank you. All right, we have a request for tax credits, I believe, the way I read it, from the Virginia Department of Housing for North Winds Apartments. Mr. Dalton, you want to give us a little background before we discuss this?
It's a standard letter from VHD, Virginia Housing Development Authority. As most of you know, the letter tells you the age of the apartments out there, low-income apartments, that's allowing to issue tax credits and to completely rehab the property out there. I think that's a good thing, based on past experience and knowledge of what everything goes on out there, so. My discussions with HDA, and this is a standard procedure that, they request a letter of support, from local.
So this is just a letter of support, I mean, it's not costing us anything or?
No. It's actually gonna be a benefit to the county in the long run with the
That's what I thought.
renovation.
Actually, it should take that tax assessment back up, depreciated value, back up to full value.
That's what I thought.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve and send a letter of support for the tax credit.
I second it.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Okay. Next, I think we have a letter of information from Chantel Cable, just informing us that our bills along with Chantel Cable, which I seem to, that our bills are gonna be going up, and giving us an opportunity to maybe contact some local legislators on the state and federal side to discuss this, but, this is just for informational purposes. They don't have to ask our permission.
That's $2.68 increase in your monthly bill. That's what you mean.
I didn't see it that way, Mr. Dalton. I saw it, less than that, I thought.
And third paragraph, your March bill will reflect an increase in the broadcast TV surcharge to $2.68.
And I'm paying $1.93 now, so it's.
You are correct.
Huh?
You are correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't hit me any harder than. Thank you, all right. New River Community, Corrections Agreement. Again, I'm gonna call on you, Mr. Dalton. I understand that they are asking for one person from the county to act as a, overseer for these people who are coming out. These are not prisoners, these are people who've been assigned community
It is,
hours, 100 hours, so forth.
I think we're going to assign our building grounds person over this. What we request of the board tonight to approve the county to enter into this agreement that allows us to work with community corrections, and they can start providing people for the county. And we'll assign people as necessary.
They want a contact person and so forth.
Well, we'll provide that, the building grounds person will do that, but
You just need a motion to enter into this into a contract with us?
Let's enter into the contract, yes, sir.
I would make that motion.
For a second. Any other discussion concerning this?
All right, this is just for adults.
Actually, it could be for anybody, even coming out of juvenile, it's been recommended for community corrections. The juvenile judge sends them over to community corrections.
All right, and we have, for lack of a better term, veto power over who we get.
Yes.
And this can only be used on nonprofit organizations? So it can't help us, I know we've been discussing issues around county cleanup and things, but
Actually,
would it help us there too?
that is,
There's not much profit there.
Yeah.
that's our intent, to do county cleanup with most of this. And we'll use some as custodians, and we have been. But if we can get a number of people that are going to be here on Saturday morning, we'll have somebody here and take them out on the bus and pick up a section of road, or take them over to the lake. It could be anywhere that needs attention.
Say, Chairman, it will be very, I don't know if it'll be hardly any juveniles. Most of the time it'll come out of general district court, and that's where most of them come from as far as community corrections go.
I'm not sure I feel comfortable with juvenile offenders doing this.
Any other discussion? All right, then we're ready to vote over, to accept, the New River Community Career Agreement. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Okay. Next on our, agenda is coming from the Budget Committee, and it's a recommendation, and I think you have a correction here for the date put wrong at its January 20th meeting, should have been corrected to a January 30th meeting. Would somebody from the Budget Committee like to discuss this with us?
Yeah, I can do that. We talked about taking the interim financing for Retreat High School to permanent financing, and we put it out for bids on page 73. You can see those, those bids that we got back. The one that we are recommending is SunTrust at 2.75 for a couple of reasons. One is that they have agreed, to drop the $10,000 upfront cost. So that is completely out of the picture. And also, it is a 15-year, what they call put or reset. So the interest rate, regardless of what happens, is locked in at 2.75 for 15 years. There was one, as you can see, one interest rate that was a little bit lower, but it only had a 10-year reset. And so, we figured that if interest rates, do go up, that extra, 5 years will cost us considerable money. So, what we're recommending is SunTrust at 2.75, no upfront cost, and 20-year loan with a 15-year reset.
Any questions for the Budget Committee?
And just, can I add just one thing there? On the Progress Park rejection, the thought process there is I think we're paying a variable rate. I think it was 1.58 last month, interest only. And we do feel that, when we sell lot 24, we can extinguish that debt. Whereas the school debt is more than likely going to stay on the books for a longer period of time. So we elected to not hurt ourselves with the bids, but all of the bids had quite a significant rate increase from what we currently are paying, plus it would require a principal payment, which would increase the overall payments. So
We basically took no action.
Right.
On Progress Park.
Progress Park's going to remain as it is.
Correct.
So I guess we're just really voting on,
SunTrust,
SunTrust
our
bid.
recommendation to accept SunTrust at 2.75, no upfront cost.
Any other questions? Dalton, you want to make a statement earlier? I think you had your hand up.
I think we need to reject the other bids as part of the motion that we made, so that we can write a letter officially notifying the people.
Well, since it came from the Budget Committee, I will certainly, to amend that motion to accept SunTrust at 2.75, no upfront cost, 20-year loan, 15-year reset, and to reject the other bids that were placed.
Okay. And that's basically what's being done in the committee, it's just restating. Okay. We will vote at this time. Gene?
Aye.
Chair votes also aye. Thank you. Next, we have the Ager Park grant appropriation to amend and appropriate $350,000 from the WIP Land Foundation for construction of multi-purpose fields at Ager Park to 2111-48210. Anyone like to see this coming from budget, or is this?
No.
Okay. This not grant notification?
We did have a grant notification, that originally this grant was given to the Smith Soccer Club to do this work. While we met with Soccer Club as, I guess, withdrawn that and given it to the county, and the county would accept that and construct those fields, much needed fields, and they are multi-purpose fields that allow football, kickball, whatever is going on out there. But it should not cost us any additional money.
Then it didn't come from the budget. I will need a motion to accept this grant.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Been moved and second, any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. Artie?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye, thank you. Next is the Graham Forge Phase 3. We have a recommendation from T.E. Boyd that this project be awarded to Aaron Connor, general contractor of Roanoke, Virginia, for a low bid of $1,155,771. I think you have a bid sheet in there also in your minutes, or your agenda.
I move we make the award.
Okay. Motion to make the award, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded, any further discussion?
Now, is this something that we have to reject the other bids?
No.
Okay.
Is this about where we thought the bid would come in at?
Actually, they're under what we projected. This provides wastewater service to truck stop and motel, trailer park, truck at exit 84, allow that interchange to fully develop.
I just noticed there's quite a difference in some of the bids down there.
I believe when I read, he works at, this Connor company has worked for us before, and works been satisfactory.
Aaron J. is a well-known contractor, been in business for a long, long time, worked all over Southwest State. He's worked for Witt County, and he's worked for multiple places that, in a prior life that I worked on for water and sewer and grading process.
We do have a motion to accept, and a second, any other discussion as to this? All right, Gene?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Next thing on the agenda is the Wall of Honor recommendations. We have two recommendations to be on this committee, Gary Donaldson and Mr. Harold Kirk. Mr. Donaldson represents the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 2719. Mr. Kirk will be representing the American Legion, Post number 9. The way I understand it, these people are always recommended by these posts to have somebody on this committee, and all we're doing is ratifying. So I have a motion to do that.
I would make that motion.
Second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of accepting these two gentlemen, please say aye.
Aye.
The next order of business on the agenda is basically informational. The Wall of Honor Committee met on January 18th of 2012 to vote on the honorees for Civic Monument. This committee is proud to present to you the following names. Rupert Neal Kinser. Mr. Kinser was a former member of the General Assembly. During World War II, he worked repeatedly in the recycling projects in Witt County. He was also a Witt County businessman, so that's his background. Mr. Renninger was a soldier in World War II, fought in, I think, the European Anti-Pacific Theater, and he worked quite a bit with the school system, presenting programs concerning citizenship and everything to the school-age children in Witt County, and also worked a lot with the other veterans organizations. And both of those names being highly recommended from the Wall of Honor Committee, and I would ask that, by the way, both of these gentlemen are deceased, and that we ratify their decision. So I need a motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. New River Regional Water Authority's financial report for the year ending June 2011. Is this informational? Okay. Well, gentlemen, unless anyone else has anything else that needs to come up tonight, we will...
Mr. Chairman, could I jump down to the informational package just real quickly and ask Mr. Dalton a question? On page 2
213 of the, board packet.
Which one of these, informational videos, I can get to it by clicking on it?
It's,
Does it deal with, I mean, like fire and rescue, county airport?
it's the Department of Engineering, it's it's about the, water lines.
Okay.
My question is, the very, excuse me, on page, like I said, 213, the very last sentence says, I placed the tank at 65% complete.
65.
65, okay. All right, I didn't know which one it was. Okay.
Anybody else have anything that you're concerned about on the informational package? I guess that should be a question we should ask at the end of every meeting of the agenda, if anybody has anything. Hopefully you are reading your informational package. Okay. Well, then we will go into recess until 12 p.m. on Thursday, February the 23rd at the Whitfield Meeting Center. Thank you. Meeting is recessed.